Hey, what's going on? In this tutorial, we're going to be starting the WordPress series, and this is just going to be a general overview of WordPress. I'm going to try and go top to bottom and do a general description of some stuff, but there will be subsequent tutorials that will follow that'll be significantly shorter than this one that will explain the individual aspects in more detail. And we're actually gonna, the way we're gonna do it, we're actually gonna set up our Jim Bob subdomain that we set up in the cPanel series that we did, and we're actually gonna set it up, and we're gonna make it like a real place. So I hope you're ready for this. Now, let's see, where will we start? Let's just start in the dashboard, start in the home. Now, this page here is after we've logged in for the first time on your site. WordPress will look something like this, depending on which version your particular server had available to you. You'll be able to upgrade to this new 3.4.2 version, and that'll be the first place we'll start. We'll go ahead, and that way you can get an idea of how smooth this platform is. Now, this is your dashboard with lots of important statistics and information here that you can keep. Now, when you first start out, of course, they give you one page, one post, one category, and I'm going to show you how to expand those pages, posts, categories, and tags, because that's all about SEO, and that's the beauty of WordPress is SEO abilities. It's one of the best at it, and I'm going to show you that aspect of it. Let's start, like I said, by installing updating it so we can get the most current update. And please update now. Click on that, and this will be the blue button. It says an updated version of WordPress is available. Update now. Give me just a second here while it does its stuff. Unzipping its new package, and here's a slightly new interface that we're going to be coming in contact with. Alright, now here in the front, as you can see, quick press here, this is some place that if you just want to add a quick tutorial or whatever it is that you do, your blog, you just want to add a quick blog, you could do that here. Alright, quick blog page, and I'll explain the difference between blogs, posts, pages, categories, tags as we go along in subsequent tutorials. Updates, we have more updates. This is all under the dashboard section, and you're going to have to constantly update things. Here we have themes. Now, themes in WordPress are different looks that you can have on your site. Now, at any time in the back office, you can visit your site just by clicking on that. And also to remember, you can use a wheel to open up a new tab. That's how I get down. That's how I do this. So this is basically how it looks with the default theme. Over here to the left, we see our blog posts will display here, and this is the hello world that they give you to start out with. And we have a comment. Let's look at our comment. What's our comment? It's the WordPress comment, and it says, hi, this is a comment. To delete a comment, just log in and view the post comment. There you will have the option to edit or delete them. Let's see how we can do that. I mean, WordPress is so simple. Let's go into the section that says comments, and we look, here's that comment, and if you want to, you can approve it or unapprove it. Now, it came approved, we can unapprove it. That means we no longer give this comment permission to be broadcast on our site. Now, we're going to get into managing comments and how we can detour spam in our forums, because that's one of the main killers of blogs is spam. But I'll talk about how we can detour them. The next section is posts. Now, a post is basically a blog post. Our first blog post says hello world. And when we come in here, we'll see the permalink, which permalink is just basically a way of saying this will be the default location for our hello world blog post until we delete it. That's all it's really saying. We're going to get into how to set it up to be more SEO efficient than P=1. I'll talk about how that affects your site ranking. Over here to the right, you'll see publish options. This one's already published, so it has an update here. Now, just because you write a post doesn't mean that you have to immediately, send it. We'll get into that. But basically, this is where you come to add new posts. You'll see old post here, link aside. Aside is a new thing for HTML5. Probably if we check the backcode on Jim Bob's site, we'll see that it's written in HTML5, which is cool. Which means it'll be somewhat, at least word or mobile device friendly. And here with the post, you can add a new post, which is where we are now. Well, actually, we're in an edit a post. Here's what adding a new post will do. Give you the option to add a title, all this stuff. This is a WYSIWYG. We'll get into how to use this WYSIWYG effectively for when we get into how to create a post. And also categories. Categories is another great place to gain some SEO recognition for your stuff. Just look at it as another way to make your content relative to each other and to what people are looking for. So it's a way of cataloging it systematically so that it's logical. And we're going to talk about the logic behind creating your categories, your posts, your pages, and everything. So this is going to be a tight tutorial. Tags are basically like little keywords, but they're not the keywords, but they're like little keywords and metadata that are used to find stuff on your site. Let's go to our site real quick and I'll show you where those tags come in handy. You see over here, this right here, see it says tags? This is called a tag cloud, and this is cool because it's another way, a very, very effective way for people to navigate your site when they're looking for specific data. So maybe somebody came to Jim Bob's site or our site and they're looking for information on, we'll say, hosting sites. And then they come here, but maybe they don't find what they're looking for initially because once we set this thing up, there's going to be data all over the place. You might have thousands of blog posts, but the only ones that'll be visible might be, like 400 of them. So they didn't find what they were looking for. That sucks. They're going to leave and go somewhere else. But with this tag cloud, if you make effective tag clouds that people are actually looking for, they can come right over here. And if you click on, let's click on Notepad++, specifically Notepad++. Now you see the tags archive comes up for Notepad++, and you'll see all the tutorials that I have for that. So that's a very effective way to search out comment just through one click and tags. So use that to your benefit. Here's your media. Now the media library is a place where you go to upload all your pictures. Any graphics that you might want to add to the site will go in this media folder. This is their media folder. You can put your stuff wherever you want, and I'll show you how to make links to get to it. But the media folder will allow you certain programming options once we get to our plugins. And also, too, there's some built-in functionality with that media library because that's the default place where your stuff goes. So use that, and to add, we'll do media library in a separate tutorial. Here are links. Links, typically when they populate under the word blog roll because that's what the first one that is created through WordPress is called, a blog roll. And that widget is not enabled, so we'll get into that in just a second. But typically the first one is called blog roll. And in your blog roll, you would put relative links that people might find useful in your blog. Maybe if you have a marketing site, maybe you would sell spots on that blog roll to companies that were looking to advertise in a particular niche market. I mean, you could do that with your blog roll. You can do a lot of things. They actually have a there's a plugin you can install that'll turn your blog roll and links that you have into a directory, something like similar to like yp.com, which is yellowpages.com now. Similarly stuff like that. So that'll be cool to look at. Now Did we check out? No, here we are. We're in our links. So you can add link categories too. So you can save different kinds of links, different kinds. Like here's that blog roll I talked about. And that's just like one set of links. You could save multiple sets of links. So let's say you have blog roll and then you have Jim Bob. So he has Jim Bob's fishing tips, Jim Bob's this, Jim Bob's that, and he could have all these different sets of links that are he makes available to his blog viewers. Next are pages. Pages are static posts. That's basically the best way to put it. Your blog post, the difference between a page and a blog is that your pages are static. They stick. And usually your pages are what's going to show up from theme to theme in your navigation. So I'll show you how to use your pages effectively and some tricks you can use to do that, because pages are static. That's stuff you don't want to change ever. So you might want to put like your company information and about us page and other things under pages as opposed to a post, and we'll get more into that as we move along in the series. Next is comments, and we've already seen that. This is where you can manage all of your comments to approve or disapprove them. You can even mark them as spam. Like once you've identified some of the people that are coming to your site and they're just coming there to like put up freaking stupid marketing ads on your blog that aren't even relevant for your, your people, you can just trash them or spam them. Spam them is a little bit better because then you don't have to worry about managing them every time they come. Here we have the appearance. Now in the appearance are quite a few options, and we'll do an entire tutorial just on editing the appearance of them, and I think we'll start there when we begin our tutorials, because I want to edit this theme. I want to show you how to add a theme so you can become more comfortable and make your WordPress your own blog. And here's your themes, and we can install these. Let's just go there real fast. And here's the one that is currently installed, and new feature customizer. So this is something that we just grabbed. It says click customize to change the header. Oh yeah, we are. Well, I'll show you this when we get there. I already know about that. Hold on. But you could also put available themes. Now, available themes are themes that are installed, in your WordPress application that are not necessarily active. So this is the active theme now. Remember Jim Bob, and it has a strolling picture. So this picture will change. Let's see if it'll change for me. Yeah, see, so that picture changes every time you access it. Now this is a different one. So let's enable this real fast. Let's activate it. And bam, it's now active. Okay, so when we come back here, we refresh and look, we have a new theme set up. And I'm going to show you how to install new themes on there. We might get into and how to customize that theme in a future tutorial. We might get into how to create one from scratch, but we don't really need to. There's quite a few that you can use that are default. Widgets. Now these are widgets. Widgets are like little small programs, little snippets that do small things on a site, and these are your widgets right over here. Pay attention to this: recent posts, recent comments, archives, cats. Now we come over here and what do we see? Search, recent post, recent comments, and archives. And in the categories, and of course meta. Meta is this little login information. That's if you're gonna give people the ability on your blog to have their own personal profiles, or maybe if you're giving out extra profiles, because you might have your blog set up where you have multiple people contributing. So if you have multiple contributors, you're gonna probably want to keep some place for them to log in. Remember, these widgets are the same from page to page. Let's go to sample page here, and here's some content, and you see the widgets are still there. Here's comments that are there. So Very important to remember that these widgets are the same, and there are different widget areas. So as you drag and drop, and we'll get into that in the next tutorial, I think, maybe, or the one after that, how to adjust these widgets for your own personal use and what each one of these kind of does for you by default. Menus, of course, are these guys. This is a menu, but many themes come with extra menus. So you might have a menu here. You can have a menu going down the side. You might have another small menu over here that's doing some funky stuff. So every theme has different things that are attached to it. Like I said, menus is just one of them. We'll go over here to the header. Now the header, here we have all the information for putting in a custom header on your WordPress blog, and you can upload the custom header here. It tells you the dimensions. The guy who builds the theme, he'll tell you what dimensions will go in that will fit perfectly for your domain, and we'll get it more into that. He's got a few things here, or you can push random for this guy's thing. And all themes are different. They may not have this setup. Some themes may just be, one thing at a time. But, you got to check that out. Background. Of course, this is the actual background to the site. Colors, images, all of that stuff. This is your background. And I'll show you how to add a custom background. The editor. Now, this is where all the code that you might need to edit is found in the editor. Now, the main ones that you're going to be tampering with, if we get that far, but before you even mess with this, you got to watch some tutorials on manipulating HTML, CSS, and WordPress is written in PHP. See that extension right there? PHP. So before you ever touch this, I suggest that you watch a few tutorials on at least those three languages. Like I said, XHTML, really, CSS, and PHP, at least the basics, before you touch this, because you'll just screw up your site, and then you have to reinstall it, and that can get messy. You don't want to do that. Plugins. Now, plugins add extra functionality to your site that doesn't currently exist. Everybody's seen the WordPress blogs, or you might not even have realized you're looking at a WordPress blog, but especially if they remove this, and I'll show you how to take all this stuff off. You don't really need to, but I'll show you how to do that. But it's just extra functionality, and I'll show you how to add plugins. Here is your user section where you can manage all the different users on your site. Like I said, you might have a site that's open to the public to, oops, that's not good. So you might have a site that's open to the public for them to be able to register with your blog or whatever, and this is where you would manage that. This is your personal profile as the administrator, and here's all the information that you can put in about yourself. I definitely suggest that you put an about yourself section here. Very important. People on a blog tend to want to be very personable. It's not like they don't want a cold interaction. They want a warmth. They want to know you personally. So I definitely suggest that you put this biographical info in here. And just remember, it's like when you're doing a blog, blogging is very different than, say, journalism. It's very different than that. Journalism, you're more kind of focusing on a particular thing, and it's not, journalism really isn't about connecting with people as much as it's about relaying the facts. When you're blogging, you're really doing your best to connect with your audience, and nothing does that better than giving them personal tidbits about yourself in your blog. So be personable on your blog in your WordPress. Next is the tools. And just the tools. Let's see what tools they have. Importing, exporting. This is just small tools. The tools will grow. I'll show you how to use the tools as well. Here's something else that we're really gonna have to go over here is the general settings. Now remember when we set up the site in Fantastico, I believe it was we used. that we started off and we wrote a title. This is that title that we wrote. Remember Jim Bob? And I put this Jim Bob, and I meant to change that, so I can do that here. This is where Jim Bob comes to exercise his creativity. And that's there. And then the WordPress address. Remember, the URL always includes the protocol. And I'm going to tell you that every time we come across this, just to make sure you remember that the URL always includes the protocol. If they ask for your website address, they're asking for this part. They're saying www dot whatever. If they're asking for the URL, they're asking for a complete address, including the protocol and whatever subfolder or folder that is in where that file is at. They're basically asking you for a concrete address, not a general one like, oh yeah, I'm at jimbob.com. It's like, okay, we're at jimbob.com, and that's what they want to know, jimbob.com / folder. Okay, so that's where you're at. Membership allowance is right here. This is where you can allow people to register or not allow people to register. You can set your subscriber roles. Now you're going to be able to manage the subscribers. The individual subscribers will become users, and you'll be able to manage their information here in the users. This is just saying that when they first register, how are they going to register? Always start with a subscriber. And the reason being is because each one of these roles, and I'm going to do a tutorial just on these roles. Remember when we talked about being able to secure your domain and your web project, we talked about giving limited access is a very important factor in that. Do not give anybody, unless they've proven themselves, administrative access or editor access. Maybe author. The author is it gives them the right to post blogs, etc. Contributor and author are slightly different, but we'll go over each one of these roles. These are the default roles. You can add new ones, but you don't really need to. Not at the novice and intermediate level. You're not really going to need to. And we're going to need to set our time zone. UTC is basically starting at what is it, the prime meridian there, I believe. Let me make sure. I don't want to give you bad information, but I know where I'm at in South Florida. I think it's 4:30. Give me just a second. I want to check that data, and I'll get right back to you. Well, actually, when we do this section on setting your time zone up, I will do that then, and then I'll have that information for you, how to set this up. Oh, wait. Yeah, hold on. Wait, maybe I'll do it anyway. Hold on. No, I'm not going to do it today. Okay, so I'll show you how to set this UTC up. I forget how it goes. There's a website that I usually use when I do it. The date format, all that stuff is here. Now we go to the writing section under here. And this right here, and this is called update services. I'm going to do a tutorial just on setting up your ping list, which is very important. And what a ping actually is when you go to set up a post, what you're going to find, what they're doing is they're sending out that this blog has new information across the web. And they're sending it to, in this case, they're sending it to pingomatic.com, rpc.pingomatic.com. And that's probably some kind of depot where they actually ping it to other addresses. But there's places on the web, if you do a search, you can find whole ping lists. And I'll post one up on the site. Actually, it'll be in our practice folder. I'll post one up on the site that'll be comprised of all the ones that I've seen. And the more the better, because obviously every time you post that, it's going to go on and to multiple sites that there's information here, and then usually they'll send out robots to come check on it and see what's in it and that and so forth. So we'll configure our writing settings, we'll configure our reading settings, which is how people view your page. I may even go over how to add a custom home page, but that'll have to be far down the line, because first we're going to have to go over how to actually manipulate CSS, HTML, and all that stuff before we start dealing with that. And this is basically saying that when people come to your site, where are they going to go, how are they going to read, how are they going to take care of the data in each article in the feed. We're going to show a summary. They don't need to read the whole dang thing, just a summary in case they don't want to read the whole thing. And the discussions, this is where you come to manage all of your discussions. Very important. This is comment, black risk, comment, moderation. Very important to put some words in here. Like if you don't have an adult level blog and you're making your content for people that are 13 or older, that includes small children. So you might want to put some words in here so that they don't. Well, this is actually, is this the IP spot? Yeah. This is where you would put domains, but over here is where you put actual content or actually words and stuff that you don't want. What the heck? Well, one of these you put words, and one of them you put domains. And words you don't want, domains you don't want, you can blacklist them. This is where you select the type of avatar you want for your site, save your settings. This is all custom stuff. Media. This is your media settings. Remember up here we had our library. Well, when we post stuff, everything that's in your library is gonna be made available to you when you go to make a post. And so these are just the defaults for that, and I'll show you how to do that. And you see here it tells you uploading files. Remember I told you you can put them wherever you want. Privacy. Allow search engines to check this site. Don't allow them to check your site. That's pretty much it. And you definitely want to allow them to, unless you have a private blog. I don't know what a private blog would be, or a private website that you don't want anybody searching. It happens. Some people have different needs. And here are those permalinks that we talked about at the beginning. And obviously you want to have the one that's most search engine friendly. We'll go over how to get that set up, but those are all, that's like a basic overview of the back section. Once we get, actually it's called, what is it, Jetpack, I believe. Once we get our Jetpack set up, then we're actually going to get more data about our site. That's going to enable us to have all kinds of stuff, including analytics on the front page. And I got to do a tutorial on analytics and how to interpret that. But let's see, is there anything else I forgot? I don't want to leave you hanging. I believe that's about it. If you have any questions along the way, I'm going to be grinding this out one tutorial at a time. So if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to hit me up in the inbox. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can to explain whatever needs to be explained to you. And I'll probably make a tutorial out of it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get the data as I put it up. And then also, of course, don't forget to like the videos. Thanks for viewing, and I will see you in WordPress.